Right, 8:36 on the dot. James with another episode of the My Crazy Exes podcast. I love doing this show. It's always good to talk something a little bit differently than just sports all the time. And last week I had the opportunity to go on a podcast, the Ladylicious podcast. Make sure you go give them a follow. All their information is below. You could find them on Facebook, and then also watch their content on Cracked Bell Productions. Our good friend Nate over at his fantastic studio had us in there. And it's funny because actually a video got released today of a bit during that during that show where I almost started dating a trans woman. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but there's somebody for everybody. But we got a special guest tonight. We're gonna bring her in here. She's the host / co-host of the Ladylicious podcast. Let's give her a big welcome to the My Crazy Exes podcast, Amanda from the Ladylicious podcast. What's up, cunts? I say it right?
Yes. Happy to be here. I'm sorry.
That's all I want you to on the show for. I just wanted to come on so I can say that. So we're done.
Yes. That's it. That's what I'm here for. All right. See you later.
I'm so glad you're on now. I was just talking about last week at the work that Nate did with the video and how he bit the little segment that we did with the story I told about the woman that I went on a date with, and we remained friends, and just the magic that he was able to work to kind of bit that. Those the whole video aspect of things is to be able to bit those and then make something of it is pretty magical. I just have no idea how to do that stuff. He's pretty good with it, so shout out to him.
Yeah, it was very nice.
There's one half of you today. I know you have your fantastic co-host Meg, who was a ball. We had a full room last week too. It was me, you, hot cunt or hot lips or whatever.
Heat girl. Hot cunt.
I really say that word. I'm just full of it tonight.
It's warm down there.
That's what they say. Listen, the thermals don't just warm the legs, But how's your week going? Start off with that. How's everything going?
It's been interesting. I froze my ass off on Sunday at the softball game. We did not win, but it was a good time. I was dressed as a gorilla so I could stay warm.
Did you play as a gorilla?
Yes, the entire game.
That's hysterical, actually. That's actually pretty funny.
We actually bought them for a tournament that we had a little bit ago, but it was 70 degrees outside during the day, and I was I was playing in a tank top, so I was I can't wear it, so I figure in 30 degrees it works.
Yeah, I shot in a surprise engagement over the weekend down at Center City, by the Waterworks. So I was out in the cold for an hour and a half, just waiting. Oh, we got a comment in already. Let's put it up on the screen here. There she is, the one, the only Meg. What did Meg have to do tonight that she couldn't make it on?
I forget what she told me.
It's all good. We'll make sure to get her on. What's up, Meg?
She would have been here if she could.
Absolutely. I don't deny that whatsoever. And for those of you that don't know, there is a giant bear behind me. He was spotted by Amanda. She just came in and just said darts. Well, let me know about that.
That's it.
Big dart shooter over here. There's a big bear behind me. I actually forgot that that was there, and Amanda pointed him out. So don't feel frightened if he just so happens to make an appearance.
It is a little extra that we're having a stalker video, and you have a teddy bear stalking over your shoulder. So I was you should put some binoculars on that, so it's creeping us out. And it's really weird because you're in it looks like a child's bedroom because it's pink and purple.
Yeah, this is the
I'm concerned. Are you actually at home?
Yeah, this is actually I'm just trying to get a real good feel for tonight's episode. Just have the cool stalkers.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah, this episode's called Stalking, Stalkers, and the Bean-Stalk, which I thought was actually pretty funny. really throwing people off. But I actually want to get into that because, you know, it's an interesting topic because it could come to a serious level and then it could come to, fun as like, people will say, "Oh, I have this stalker," but they just may be really into you. So right off the bat, we got to start off with a what is a stalker, and everybody can have a different definition of this. Me personally, a stalker, and I'm sure I actually get us the right definition, of course. With somebody that just doesn't leak in other words, just doesn't leave you the fuck alone. Just unwanted attention.
I would agree. I think there's different levels, like you could have a level 5 stalker that like loses his shit, and then you could have one that's just like, all right, like whatever. I think
like a stage 5, right? Well, is a stage 5 clicker would be technically.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Here we go. A person who harasses or persecutes someone with unwanted and obsessive attention. A person who hunts game stealthily. I like the second one. A keen fisherman and deer stalker. That's kind of cool. But then you got Tracy claims she was a victim of a stalker. That was the first definition. And I think those are the key words: is the unwanted and obsessive attention. Now I've had my share. Okay, and this is not a boast. This is not anything I would ever want realistically on anybody. I have had my share of these unfortunate circumstances. I'm not going to go too much into it because sadly there's like an ongoing investigation now at this point with a situation, and that shit can be scary.
I get it.
I mean, it can be. I mean, it's an episode like more or less of like hearing some stories. And by all means, we all know the My Crazy Exes. Fill the comment box, and we'll be sure to put them on. Sometimes I'm even open to having a little special appearance from one or two people. But that we got the full definition of what a stalker is, and I think like the obsessive part and the unwanted part is probably some of the biggies. So, with that all being said, we're going to play a little game now, and I mentioned this in earlier on. So we're going to do
no promises.
We're going to do a little rapid fire with Amanda of Amanda. I actually kind of like that, actually.
Either one's fine.
On the Ladylicious podcast. Make sure you also give her a follow on her social media, Ladylicious. It's fun. It's a fun show. I can't
would love that.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait to actually be back on that show. So we're gonna start putting them up there. So pretty much what we're gonna do here is we're gonna suggest name if this person is a stalker or if they're not a stalker. So right off the bat, here's the first one: Christian Grey. Was Christian Grey a stalker of Anastasia? What would you think? Rapid fire, and then we'll talk about it.
Okay.
No. No, and most people would say no. Now I remember when he showed up on her trip.
No, I would say no, but I know that he had one.
He did have one. He did have one.
She came after him with the gun.
Yeah, and then that's right because they tamed her because he was like, silence, and then she like or whatever the hell he said.
Yeah, I think he's has more issues than stalking.
You know what? I'm all for that. So let's dive into our second person here, which me personally, I think it is Santa Claus. Santa Claus himself.
You know what? He can stalk me all he wants. I love the gift.
Ho ho! Look at the
stalker.
Ho ho ho! Season greetings.
Like, woo! Sorry.
I know. I always do that just so that people can still say. Now Santa Claus, and look at the whole picture itself. And for those that are going to be listening to audio, we're popping up pictures here of some potential stalkers. And first was Christian Grey from 50 Shades of Grey. And then the second one is actually the big man himself. It's almost time. Get your goodies ready to rock and roll. Santa's hitting the fucking road here. I'm going with a I'm going with a Like the unwanted attention, it maybe is questionable, but
I mean, I guess kids wouldn't want him paying attention. Sorry. I said, I guess kids wouldn't really want him paying attention, so they wouldn't know if you were bad or good, Like if you're bad.
How does he know all this? How does he know all this? I think we got a potential stage 5 close.
But at least it's only once a month, once a year.
Solve the mystery herself. Um,
It's
so
like the elves. The little elves on the shelves are like stalkers.
my next one actually is going to be, obviously you can see here we have now I believe that this is a flat out stalker. This is Penn Badgley from You. This was a full on stalker. I've never seen the show. Um, I've just heard things. So his character. Have you ever seen the show You?
Yes, I would
So
say
tell
he's
me a little bit about his character because I hear that he's just a full throttle.
it's like it feels like he doesn't even think about what he's going to do. It's just, yep, done. I don't care. Like whatever works for him. He's got like somebody hiding in his basement in the bookstore, like for months in this, like where they put like the special books, like to keep them safe. He has like somebody just sitting in there. Yeah, it's
Wow.
I haven't seen it in a while, but he's a stalker.
Flat
He's got
out.
extra issues too, but he's definitely a stalker.
So we have five of these, so we're gonna hit our fourth one now. And this is actually kind of questionable because this is Mark David Chapman. Mark David Chapman was actually the guy that killed John Lennon. And
Mm.
now, because they had, I don't think he was a stalker, but he was just with him like prior to him shooting him. Would you say that there was some stalker issues going on with Mark David Chapman?
I would say there was, because I think he was a part of his fan club, and
Yeah, the
I
crazed
don't know. I
fan.
don't remember the whole story, but I know a lot of people were mad when Lennon said that the Beatles are bigger than God, and like,
For that time too.
but I get where they're saying they weren't trying to say we're better than God. They're just saying like, oh my God, we're popular. Like,
He had he had,
you
like,
know,
got an autograph and, like, a picture with him, like,
yep,
an hour or 2 before there because there's a famous picture of, John Lennon, like, signing an autograph and Mark David Chapman, like, right next to him. Fucking
yep.
scary shit. And the final one, and this is a goodie. I'm curious about this one, and it's the, we hit Santa Claus, and now we're gonna hit a little Halloween time. Michael Myers himself. Would you consider Michael
I
Myers a stalker?
I would consider him like a number one stalker because you just can't seem to leave Jamie Lee Curtis the fuck alone.
Dude, give the girl a break, man. It's your sister. I mean, listen, people are
I
into
know,
some kind of things, but good God. I mean,
I know, and he doesn't even say anything.
I just want to throw this back up here just because it's just you lost your shit when I did that.
I was like, fucking Santa.
He's that guy.
Santa, I know him.
Yeah, I know him. So transitioning on, is stalking sometimes wanted from people? Now, I think that people can take this, and we're gonna start diving into story time for the rest of our episode. And is stalking sometimes wanted from people? Like, I do believe that people will take it, like, and like whether they could be in danger or not, still kind of encourage the fact of keeping this person aboard, which is even more scary if you ask me. What do you think about that? Do you think stalking is actually wanted from people?
I mean, some people might not even realize that they're being like stalked. They might just think of it as, an ego kind of thing, I guess. But, some people are also very like insecure. So I could see that where, it's the one time they feel loved or obsessed over, I guess.
That's a
And
really good
then
point.
who knows if they get like stuck and now you're in a relationship you don't know what to do about because you now have a stage 5 clinger. Like, what was you could have somebody turn out like that movie Gone Girl. That
Oh,
lady
dude,
fucking
remember
lost
that
her
shit?
shit.
Yo,
I was like,
that
that
shit,
lady was a super cunt.
she was such da, 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 da.
Yeah. I was
She
like,
was
fuck, I'm
wild.
afraid of you.
She was absolutely wild. I remember that movie. That movie was insane. Like, and then she came back and was like, told the husband, like, "Oh, just smile." Like, what? What the
Dude, she had him around her finger.
like the whole like plan that was absolutely insane. But obviously this part's going to be taking some time because we're going to dive into some story time. Have you ever been a stalker or been stalked? I'll start off with one here.
Okay.
So we'll go deep into the archives. I had this girl that she would literally like she pulled a knife on me. I was in like 8th grade. Like she pulled a knife on me because I didn't want to be with her, and she would like order food to my house all the time. Like this is young kid shit, but it was scary. I had to call the cops a couple times. Like she would order food all the time to my house, and just upset. Like told me she wanted to cut my face off and wear it. And then she would beat up my girlfriends. Like any girlfriend I had, she would try and fight them and beat them up because I was with them. Like I was like, dude, this is going on too far. She ended up turning out to be a drug addict, which is sad, of course, but she had a certain upbringing that was like unfortunate. But it doesn't mean you should go out there and stalk people, just beat up
Yeah, no.
their girlfriends. It doesn't work like that.
I have some questions, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
What was she ordering to your house?
Well, we got the old chicken cutlet broccoli rock.
He's like, I requested crab rangoon, but it just didn't work out.
The best was when the Chinese guy bring in a Chinese food and the pizza delivery guy show up, and then you bring the Italian guy. Now, next thing you know, we got a full throttle fucking anti-war going on out front of my house.
It's like walking through the Bean-Stalk Mart with like 30 different freaking food styles.
I know exactly what you're talking about too. Next thing you know, there, we got the Italian guy with the Italian food. We got the Asian gentleman with the Chinese food. We have the pizza man who's Greek. And we're all out there just speaking their languages. And I'm like, gentlemen, please. I didn't even order anything here. What do we got though? I'm kind of interested now.
Exactly.
And
okay.
It puts me on the spot. Like, who am I going to go with here? Like, whose food am I going to take? Because someone's getting sent back home. I'm not for $120 worth of shit.
These aren't going to last that long. I can't save all the leftovers. I'll be wasted.
That's one thing about me. Leftovers.
Yeah,
never goes wasted in my house.
I just meant that might be a lot,
I'm still like sometimes I order for the next day. That's how much I love leftovers.
I do the same.
Yeah.
Next question: how did you meet this person?
Okay, so I knew her from grade school. And the funny thing was I had a crush on her, and she turned out to be a little bitch. And then when I got like more popular, more or less, then that's when she like liked me. But it turned like so obsessive. Like we're talking like numbers had to get changed in my house. And anybody that's watching, I'm surprised nobody's like commented in and like said the name of the person, which I wouldn't put up anyway. But like, yeah, like it was just insane.
Were you friends?
Yeah, like I would say that we were friends, and like I was always that kind of guy that like even though there was like unfortunate circumstances, like I would still want to hold on to a friendship. But it's like we became friends. I just looked over my shoulder and saw the bear, and I was just like,
that's her. She's got a little secret eyes in there
that's
for you.
Fucked up shit.
What a fucking nanny cam.
That's just like live. Somebody just like walked out the closet, like it just walked out of the room.
Imagine if you just had like the door open at one point, and then like Michael Myers is just chilling.
Yeah, and Santa Claus comes out.
Yes. Wait, what is Santa Claus mask?
Yeah. What's a Santa Claus mask? That sounds terrifying. I imagine just probably think that
it's iced tea. I don't want to hear nothing. I was trying to be like,
why did you just drink your drink?
I did.
You were like this.
Well, because I don't need everybody like, ah. All right, well, there, go for it. I drink my own way.
I'm actually surprised nothing got on me. I'm actually really impressed with the way I did that.
So total sidebar.
I want an order of faba beans.
Thanks, Michelle. That is my wonderful mother-in-law.
Oh, fantastic. Hello.
I love her.
How are you? I recognize the last name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, from Steve, right?
Yep.
All right,
cool. One more question. Total sidebar. So you were friends with her, and then you became popular. How'd that happen?
Well, I showed a lot of nudies off myself. I used to post. I posted my phone number in like the locker room, like call for a good time, like that. But
did you like Sharpie pictures of your dick on the wall for a good time in the bathroom?
Well, I just remember you used to put the turkey up, like your hand was the turkey. I just outlined that like on certain things. And like actual size, like, oh my god, this looks so big. It's like, did that. But the whole thing was that I did it when I was in an all boys high school, so things really didn't work out that well.
Yeah, you know what? I think you missed the wrong market on that.
Yeah, well, I had a lot of paint chips as a kid.
And I had a lot of sisters.
Yes, we covered that in the episode with the Lady Licious. But like I mentioned before, make sure you go follow the Lady Licious podcast on Facebook and the Cracked Bell Productions on YouTube. Our good friend Nate over there does some pretty awesome things, and the girls are killing it on their show. Definitely give them a follow. They'll have They have a funny video of me up there as well. But yeah, that's one of my stories. Now let's transition and talk a little bit about one of your stories because I know you gotta have. Listen, you got the long blonde hair. You're a good looking woman. I'm sure there's,
Oh, thanks.
throwing them off.
So I don't have. I have one stalker video or story. I should say, not video. I didn't mean video.
I was gonna say, but I
Um,
gotta get the content.
you were talking about video. It's messed up. No, my God. Anyway, but it actually wasn't a guy. A girl was a female was stalking me.
Wow.
I went to textile college, Philadelphia College of Textiles and Science up in like off like Fox Street and the Boulevard up and down there or whatever. Anyway, I was going for biology and as was my major, and you know, me and a friend of mine that we went to high school together decided like we need to make friends with somebody that lives here, you know, on campus, so that this way, like if we ever stuck at school late, we don't have to take the long drive home down the boulevard, whatever.
There was this girl alone in the woods, and you said, "Oh, she looks friendly."
No. No. So we ended up meeting this girl. I'm not gonna say her name. My dad used to call her Twisted Sister. So anyway, we met her. She was in some of her classes and then in some of my classes. And basically, like we did become friends. Like I was actually friends with her. I actually traveled, like went to visit her home. Like I was completely fine. Everything seemed great. And as time went on, the school, like where I was at, it's now currently, I think, Jefferson University. It went from textile to Philly to Jefferson. I don't know.
Yeah,
It switches as much as the Twitter Center at this point.
the old tweeter.
Yes,
Oh yeah,
Tweeter.
oh, yeah, the old tweeter. That's what I call it.
E Center, whatever you want to call it.
Center.
Right, yes, I'm old. Okay, old. Anyway.
No, I'm all about it.
So, you know, we basically like it started to get a little weird. To the point where she would come to my house. Like we used to go midnight bowling a lot, and I would get home and I'd go to bed. It'd be like 3 a.m, and all of a sudden I'd wake up the next morning to go to work, and there's a chalk line around my car, and she was like, I was here.
No, stop.
I not joking. Dude, so I was just like, I was like, okay, like maybe it could be a joke. Like I was trying, like, because it was like the first couple things she did. So I was just like, what is that? Like, what were you doing? Like, I don't understand. Why are you even, you don't even live around here to know the area to drive to my home to do this. And you're doing this at like, it had to be between 4 a.m. or like 3:30 a.m. and 9:30 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Like it was odd. So I was like, what were you doing? Were you out like driving? Was that a joke? And she trying to like played it off like it was a joke. So I let it go. And then as time went on, every time I walked out of one of my classes, she was there. And it was starting to like get like just a little creepy at first. So I wasn't like 100% sure like that I was being stalked.
These vibes here. This is the vibe. I just flashed Michael Myers back up on the screen here.
Wow. I mean, so, and it's funny, like I started to tell my one friend that, you know, I'm starting to feel like uncomfortable. She loved playing pool. So we would go play pool, but I don't feel like playing pool every night. And if we didn't do that, she would get like kind of weird. So we were kind of trying to push away from her a little bit. And I tell my friend, I said, I'm kind of starting to feel like she's like kind of stalking me in a sense. Every time I'm walking out of class, she's there. Every time I walk over to a group and it's all of our friends, she'll wait until the end and like make sure she talks to me before I go. Like she got me like late to class a couple times, like just like, oh, what are you doing this weekend? What are you doing this? Or like, and then at one point, this was really weird. I had said to my friend, I was like, oh, are we still doing bowling this weekend? And she's like, yep. Didn't say where we were going or what lanes. So we went to Thunderbird over on Holm Ave.
Yo, Thunderbird.
Yeah. And you've been in there. So they have this really tiny, small section of arcade games where it's like 5 of them by the bathroom.
Yeah.
Well, there happened to be like no one bowling this night. And we're lanes right across from that. And she shows up and she's at the freaking arcades with some random guy, I don't know who it is, and doesn't look over at us, doesn't come over to us, just plays video games for like 2 hours and then leaves.
This is
So,
scary.
and we're all
Can't go
watching,
past the
and I'm
car
like,
with
no,
her.
no one say anything to her. I said, I don't want anything to do with her. I was like, she didn't even know what bowling out. And there was a few, because the other one on the boulevard was still open. There was Pendelane's, the other
Yeah,
Thunderbird. Like,
the one on Home Avenue, I think that's still around too, right?
that's the one we were at. Yeah.
You're at. Yeah,
But
that's what I thought.
I'm saying, how would she know which one we went to? Do you know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't know if she like bowling jumped just to show
Yeah.
up, and but never said anything. So I told my friends, I'm like, don't say anything to her. Like, she knew we were coming here. She heard it, and this, like, she didn't know this bowling alley, but whatever. So my friend was like, when I told her about it, she's like, it's not that I don't believe you, but it's just like odd. So I'm driving her home one day, and this messed me up. We were this one street you come out to, there's this place called McMichael Park. Do you know where I'm talking about?
I do.
It's just like a square block of park that I usually took a shortcut to come out there. So as I'm coming out the street to make a left, McMichael Park's in front of me. She is sitting there right on the next to the park, sitting on the hood of her car.
This is creepy.
Okay, so now my friend's in the car with me, and I said to her, I was like, listen, I was like, don't wave at her, don't do anything, just let's go, because I don't want to have to talk to her. She's going to keep me there. Hey, Heather.
I thought that was her.
No, that's my cousin.
I saw, and oh hey, I was like, is this her? I had a people in the show.
No, I don't. I hope she never.
I got you. I didn't be distracted. I'm sorry.
No, like it really, like, it sounds silly, but like it really freaked me out. So I was like, please don't say anything. Like, I just want to go. She's really creeping me out. So as we're driving, you turn left to like go to Fox Street to get on the boulevard. Well, as I'm merging onto Route 1, she's now in front of me.
Dude.
And she's in her car and she's like jamming to fucking Korn's Adidas. And like windows down, everything. And I'm like, all right, I'm done. So I start like beeping at her. She's not even fucking acknowledging me. She's just off the wall. And then like a week later, she did the chalk line thing again.
Dude.
I was like,
this chalk line thing is freaking me out.
And my dad even questioned it. I was like, I don't know why she's doing this. But like, it got to a point where I actually told her roommate came up to me and said, you haven't went to see her. And I was like, honestly, I feel like she's stalking me, and the girl that was in the car with me, she's like, I believed you, but holy fuck, like, once she saw like her in front of us while I'm driving her home, like, where are you going? You were just on the hood of your car. How did you get in front of me?
Wow.
So, I mean, and it's funny, like, years later, I went to see Roger Waters, and like I'm talking years later, and when my husband,
and her car was parked on the stage, and she was still saying, I was saying, she has a principle.
Like, she's fucking nanny camming the teddy bear to watch me in the back there. I'm telling you.
That's actually who she is right there.
We're going to pay for our tickets, or like to hand our tickets in. Stop it. And I'm standing with Steve, and I see this other girl we went to college with, but I went to high school and college with her as well. And I'm like, hey, how are you doing? And like, I was like, how are things? And I turned and look, and she's there. And I literally grabbed Steve by the arm and ran like I was fucking 5 years old away from this girl. My heart was fucking beating. I was like, Steve, this is like my favorite fucking band, and I can't fucking breathe. And he's like, at first he was like kind of laughing at me because I'm like, oh, you got a girl stalker, like, oh yeah, we know. But I was like, feel my heartbeat, like I'm fucking freaked out. I'm like, no, I finally got away from her. I actually left school.
Dude, that's a wild one. Like, I wonder. Oh my god, sorry. I wonder, like, I always think about stuff like that, like and hearing shit like that, and it's what are they up to now? And we just obviously don't know, and it's not even worth even going into. Like, actually try and find out. Then again, I'm pretty sick of the men in the head. I'm like, let me get this girl on the show and find out her story, side of the story. I did an episode one time. Yeah, you're like, no, right, no. Like, you know,
Yeah, I mean, she did get me real good at the end. I was trying to hide. There was like a sorry to like I forgot about
did
this,
you
but
do
there
the
was a
mannequin where you're just like,
there was no, there was this one. I forgot about this. I'm sorry, I should add it. There was this one building called Search Hall, and it had a huge window. So when I was leaving there, I could look over campus to see if I saw her where I should go. I didn't see her. I was like, "Oh, this is perfect." I walked
she
down
was
the
already in
steps.
your trunk.
No, she was hiding under the ledge of the building. So I'm like, fuck, just walk, just keep walking. She won't notice me. She won't notice me. And then some asshole taps me on the shoulder as she's calling me. And he's like, that girl's calling you. I'm like, fuck you. Like,
Did you ever have any final encounters and like to kind of
that
like
was
get?
that was it. And she gave me a letter that day that it kind of expressed her love.
Oh,
I
where's the
don't
love?
have that letter.
Damn it!
I don't
I would.
think I do. I really don't think I
No,
do.
you probably should have because it probably has like the like
I'm good.
yeah, yeah. One of so she confessed her love. Okay, so she loved you. She was in love with you.
I guess.
Yeah, no, I mean it's I mean she said it herself. I'm sure in the letter. And listen, going back to our guy, who we were talking about earlier, it's not a letter that they're sending to Big Daddy. Okay, that's for sure. Santa Claus himself. They were sending it to you, so it's not like it started off with "Dear Santa, this is what I want for Christmas. I want Santa from the Ladylicious podcast underneath the tree in
Oh
chains."
God. In chains. She's gonna chalk line me.
Dude, I think that's the scariest part about it. Like, because that like gives me like demonic like shit in my mind. Like why did she do that? Why
Mm.
did she do that? Good thing you didn't wear like riding a bus, man. I would have took her all day. She would definitely had some back problems.
she was this was back, remember Jenkos, the
So,
jeans?
yes, I do now. Yeah.
She used to wear them a lot with like a Ivy. She loved Operation Ivy.
Was she big chested?
No,
How old
no.
we go back here? How old
Like
is
99. I'm 42, so
okay.
not
So
but mold.
she would have been a little older than me. If she was big chest, I probably would have been all in. Something about me is just like the crazies and
Like Mike, like Meg said the other day, I think wrong side.
I'm serious. I would have been like, oh, bitch. Oh, she's a little crazy. She draws circles around my shit. Ah, she's big tested and gives a fuck.
She can suck a good dick.
Them crazies do, man. I'm telling you. Listen, they're like, and the next thing you know, they're doing it. You're just like, nah, I'm not that man anymore. Anyway, I don't even remember what you said. I could just sacrifice my dog.
She's like, she drew chalk lines around my cock. I couldn't help myself.
That's how it all started. That's how I started. That's how I got so good at it. She chalk lined them, and then I was able to trace them on my all boys high school I went to, which is not a true story, by the way. I'm a big supporter of my high school stuff. I gotta like get like send me an email. Frank, we saw your show. We were concerned on all the dicks that were. People used to draw them on the back of like at like I got
like in the snow.
yeah.
Steve still does that.
Yeah.
On the back of cars and stuff. It's fun.
It's funny. But they like if you fell asleep at school, like because obviously people see like the hoodie. Yes, I was the judge, and they would like if you fell asleep because when during the winter you had like the collared shirt with the tie, they would just draw dicks on the back of your collar. I think I had like 5 dicks, and they were like, "What does each dick represent?" I'm like, I have no idea actually. I mean, by the well, consider the handwriting. It's been the same person for 5 years, so. And I'm only here for 4, so technically, I don't know what the hell's going on now. But yeah, that's a wild story. That's a wild story. I have like, obviously the incident when I was younger, but I've always had like an issue with like letting people go. So, because whether you almost feel bad or not, or like I dealt with a lot of issues with like attention and stuff like that. So I love it. I loved attention for so long. Now I'm just like, get away. But like I wouldn't want to like let that people let those people go. So like it would just get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse to the point now where it's like I had somebody, and I won't dive too much into it, but like reach out to people I knew, like on speculation that I was involved with people like romantically, and then they're just reaching out to them. And it's like, I haven't talked to that person in 10 years. Why are you reaching out to them? I know you like them. No, I haven't talked to them in 10 years, to the point where they went to the wrong person.
Oh
And this
no.
person now decided to press charges. And this is like current, like right now. And it's like, dude, look what's happening now. And now it got to the point where I had to like finally be like, you know what, dude, I have to do something about it. And I have a laundry list of fucking emails. And you always think it's like, dude, we were so close at one point, and now look, like we were so close, and now look, now look what needs to be done. And it's a shame, but it's also like you threaten to like burn my house down. You threaten to like not like draw lines around the cars, and who wants to deal with that shit? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't come back from wanting to burn someone's
You
house
can't
down.
come back. You can't come back from circles being
Yeah,
drawn
chalk
around
lines.
chalk lines. But stalking and stalkers and the Bean-Stalk, the whole Bean-Stalk part of it is Jack. I mean, I think that Jack was that guy with the Bean-Stalk, in case people were unaware. So
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
I agree too. What's next for you? What do we got coming up? Tell the fan base.
So my wonderful cousin gave me a story. It's got Heather that is
Oh,
watching.
Heather, who was watching, has a story, huh?
Well, she gave me the story to tell.
Is this one of her stories?
Yes.
Why is she on here telling her or something?
Because she's not.
Heather, we'll get you on here, girlfriend. Don't worry about that. We will get you on here. Listen, I'm like a warm blanket.
She's listening.
Comfy and cozy and very easy to talk to. Moving on. Let's hear it.
So, one of her exes, he has a couple names. We're going to call him a little.
Oh, we'll have to
little. I have like a bonus story about him if you want to hear it too.
Always want to hear it.
Okay, so his names are let's call him Asshole for right now. So she was currently dating this guy, and we're going to call him New Guy. So she was dating New Guy, and he was like different. He kind of was like weird about PDA, like he didn't like do stuff, like he was like weird in public and things like that. And she kind of felt like maybe they weren't as exclusive as she thought they were. And then she said, they had like plans to go see this movie, and they were pretty much like kind of on their way there. And he was putting in like a kind of like a fuss about wanting to go see it. And then she was cold, so he offered her his jacket, and she puts her hands in his pockets and finds a movie sub to the movie that they're supposed to go see.
So he already saw the movie.
Right. And is it because, so like my question was like, is it because he didn't want her to know he already saw it, or is it because he saw it with somebody else?
Oh, he definitely saw it with somebody else.
Right.
And I talked a little bit about what I do, like dissecting people in situations, and like a lot of the work I do with the hotline, which we talked about. Like it's easy for me to do that. I'm going to dissect this whole situation to listen to those again.
Okay. So, so she was kind of like weird about it, and her asshole was trying to like get back with her. So he asked her to meet at her mom's house. So they were hanging out, and New Guy calls. So she tries to like go in another room to talk to him, and he's like yelling at her because he hears Asshole in the background, like, oh, and starts cursing at her. So now Asshole wants to flip out, and apparently New Guy had this like Camaro that he loved and like worked on, and Asshole went to his house, knocked on the door with a hammer, and then he also lit the car on fire. And then they got back together.
Heather, what the?
I love you, Heather.
You're getting.
It was years ago.
I'm sure it was. I'm sure she's a fantastic woman, and I don't mean that sarcastic. I'm sure she is. I'll have to meet her time. Man, But that's like some shit that I would be involved in. That is like literally what I would be involved in. I'm just like, it doesn't surprise me anymore. Like what am I supposed to do?
Oh,
Okay.
I can't wait to hear
Oh,
the bonus story.
oh my god.
Are
This
you
is
dissecting that?
yeah. I mean, that sounds like the story of my life. I love it, Heather. Love it, Heather.
um, yeah.
Bonus time.
Oh, the bonus time. So his second name, and this is like true, is the Bubblegum Bandit of Bucks County.
What? I live in Bucks County.
Well, look it up. So anyway,
We're going to. Are you kidding
I'm
me?
telling you. So anyway, so they weren't like together, but he needed a place to stay, and she said, okay, for 2 weeks you could stay, and it was kind of like convenient. And but she's like, you have to sleep on the couch. So
Couch.
then yeah, so as the time went on, she kind of like realized like that he might be sneaking out at night and
Oh.
taking her car.
Oh.
So one day she's like, it was really late at night, and like I heard a knock on the door, and I was like,
Ho,
like
ho.
Santa.
Ah.
So she said she hears a knock at the door, and she's like wondering why he isn't getting up to get it. And then she goes out there, and he's not there. And it's the police, and they're saying they're taking him in because he was drunk, like I guess I don't know, whatever he was doing. And he was out of it. He was into drugs and stuff. And he said that the reason he went out, and this was like, I don't know, like 2 a.m, and he said he went out because they ran out of milk.
I was gonna say because he wasn't gonna pizza.
Yeah. So she said, so now like little bit of time, like a couple days goes by, and they were all like, her and her kids and her mom were going out somewhere, and they get a phone call saying, hey, I need you to come home. I'm being arrested. You need to come home and lock the door. So she gets there, and the cops are talking to her, and they were asking her if she noticed like him taking her car. And she's like, no, I'm just finding this out recently, that he was taking my car. He was taking it while I was sleeping. And then he even said, she's like, did you notice him giving the kids any like bubble gum, or like see any bubble gum machines, or like quarters or anything like that, or like drug related? And she's like, no. So it turns out, like, how they have the bubble gum machines out front of like Acme and stuff
the old
that.
quarter, but the old quarter, and
yes. So he was actually like knocking them over, stealing the change so that he could buy drugs.
Yeah, there's GoFundMe's. There's
no, back then there was not GoFundMe's. This was a long time ago.
The Bubblegum Bandit of Bucks County. I'm gonna get him on the show.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
Viewer
beware.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna give the guy credit. He's doing a whole lot better right now. He's doing a whole lot better.
Always love hearing that. I wonder if he goes back and like thinks about like some of this, because trust me, I've done some dumb shit in my day, and I go back and I think about some of this stuff, and I'm like, dude, how did I even like get through that? But like the nickname will always stay. The Bubblegum Bandit. It will never leave. It's a good story.
I'm sure he doesn't call himself or refer to himself.
Well, I'm sure he doesn't have like tattooed or like a Superman.
I mean, I fucking would at that point. Like, I'll be fucking proud if it was.
Yeah, at that point, like you have to like. Oh man, oh that's great stuff. Wow, and that's another Heather story, huh?
Yes. Well, that was the same guy.
Heather will be on this show very, very soon. Yeah, we'll do audio only for you, babe. How's that? We won't do a video.
She was on ours, so I don't think she would mind.
Oh well, we'll have to get her in. Great stuff all the way around. Stalking, Stalkers, and the Bean-Stalk. So the transition out here 44-20. You had a softball game that just passed. Unfortunately, you lost. You told me a little bit about that.
I still had fun.
It's it's always a good time, I'm sure. It's getting cold out there for softball.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done for the season. That was the last one. So until spring, I'm gonna have to exercise at home.
I told you to keep me in mind about co-ed. I'm all in.
I definitely will.
I'm all in. What's next for the Ladylicious podcast? What do you guys have coming up?
We are doing Don't Kink Shame Me. So talking about kinks.
Uh, Your mother-in-law, show him a gumball machine, see what happens. She's talking about like a full relapse.
Fucking send that dude to rehab.
No, my whole life. No, that was a good one, Mom. Thanks a lot for the comment. It's a good sense of humor she's got.
I love it.
Doesn't surprise me though with being related to your obviously the back and forth a little bit with Steve on the show. He was pretty funny as well. So you got a show coming up. When is it? What's it about again?
Next Tuesday, and it's going to be basically all about kinky stuff, fetishes, things like that. You know, and there might be a fetish museum.
I probably got to be on that one again.
We would always love to have you.
I am like, I got some weird shit, man. That I'll yeah, maybe I'll have to come by. I love that studio too. Maybe I'll have to come by.
No, we would love it.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I had a lot of fun.
Me too. This was fun.
coming on that show. He's been a bubblegum free for many years. Totally turned around, thankfully. Well, that's great to hear, Heather.
He really has.
That's great to hear. And once again, we got a man on the host, the founder, the whatever you like to give her the title of the Ladylicious podcast. Give them a follow on Facebook and Crackbell Productions on YouTube. You can find their content on there. And the My Crazy Exes podcast is what we're on right now. We're finally we officially I've just gotten on iHeartRadio, which is pretty cool. We're on iHeartRadio now, Spotify, Spice 1 and 2, and we're working our way on for browsers. So keep us in mind.
Spicy browsers.
Browsers.
I love it.
Remember Spice 1 and Spice 2?
I don't know. It's not, if I remember LimeWire, okay?
Oh my god, that was actually after Spice 1 and Spice 2 was like the
Napster?
The softcore porno that would be on like in the morning.
Shannon Tweed?
Spice 1 and Spice 2, like every now and then you'd see like a nip.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you watch Cinemax and you're watching a movie and then you fall asleep and wake up halfway through to porn while you're
I told you my story. I'm already finished before I know if the son and mother-in-law have a connection. I'm like still in like the intro. With that being said, our final thought. My final thought is gonna be a final thought. I had honey grow today, and that shit was damn good.
A what?
Honey grow. You ever have honey grow?
Honey grow?
Yeah. Oh my god, so good. That was my final thought. What's your final thought? Give me your final thought. Final thought.
I've never had honey grow.
Really?
Or whatever that is. I don't even know what it is.
I'm gonna have to bring you some honey grow. And with that being said, make sure you give the Ladylicious podcast a follow on Facebook, Crackbell Productions on YouTube. This is the My Crazy Exes podcast. Follow us on all the social medias, every social media. We are on Facebook, the YouTube channel, the Unity Podcast Network. You can also watch things from there. Give that a subscribe. Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, the whole nine. With that being said, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
It flies by. I'm telling you, it flies by.
It really
Don't go anywhere. We're going to transition out, and then I'll talk to you for a few minutes afterwards. All right? Bye, everybody.
Bye.